In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a PNR, make a hotel reservation, amend a hotel reservation, and cancel a hotel reservation. Before we begin, however, I always like to have the memo pad up here. So to turn that on, go up to View and select down to Memo Area. What this does is just allows you a quick memo pad to take notes, things that you need to refer to while making the reservation. That way you don't have to toggle back and forth with the notepad. So to begin, we're going to go ahead to add to PNR, go to Traveler, enter in the last name, first name. You can ignore the middle name, title, and adult. Okay. Next, you're going to go back to the PNR, and you can see that the name is here. I still don't have a record locator yet, but I have the traveler name. We're going to enter in the phone number of the agency. Come up to your bookmark, and this is where that information is, and then just go to copy to PNR. If you want to get back to this PNR information, you just go up to the briefcase and select onto PNR. Now you'll see traveler and phone numbers there. The next is the itinerary. This is where we would sell in the airfare, hotel, or car. However, what we're doing here is we're creating what is called a shell PNR. This is a good way to do this when booking only a hotel. That way you have all the details in there, and then you can add the hotel later. So to do this, instead of having an itinerary in there, we're going to put in what is called a retention line. A retention line is typically used for an airfare. Once the flight has finished its last segment, it will typically drop out of the system. And in order to keep that in the system so you can refer to it later, you put in what is called a retention line. We're going to take the command here and put it into the PNR. In order to do so, you'll need to make sure that you're in manual command. So this is where you have this spot to type in a code, and then you put that there. If you bring your PNR back up, you'll see now I have traveler, phone, and itinerary. The last thing you need to do is indicate the received from. So you select on this. Whenever making a reservation, whether you're creating a reservation or amending a reservation, the system wants to know who's giving the instruction. Is the instruction coming from the agent or is it coming from the passenger? So the instruction is coming from the agent this time, so we'll just leave it as agent, and then you hit add to PNR. Notice I still do not have a record locator. That is because I have not saved it. The command to save is the end and retrieve button. So once I select this, I will get my record locator. So I'll go ahead and do that now. Once you hit end and retrieve, the system will come back to you with a record locator. Mine happens to be DQPXBN. My name is on the top, and here is that segment that we sold in, which is the retention line. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and sell in a hotel. To do that, you're going to go itinerary, add, and add a hotel. Here you'll see two options to make the reservation. One, we can search the hotel with a general location. However, this is a good time to use the property number search. Assuming they're coming back to you with one of the hotel options you gave them, you should have the property number because that should be in the quote or at least written down. I've written this one down for this practice, so I'm assuming that this is the property number that they wanted. We're going to go with the 24th of October. For 2 nights, and we're going to go shop hotel. What you'll see here is the Hyatt Place Arlington. So this is, in this scenario, the hotel that they want. I have the HOD number written down, so this means I was able to get this property much quicker than doing the general search. So depending on the rates, if you can see here, there's 19 different rates. For this example, we're just going to make sure that we pick a rate that is a guarantee by credit card and has a very generous cancellation policy. So this is 24 hours before the 24th, so plenty of time to cancel. So here we go. We're going to go down here. Assuming you've already gone through the full rate details and you're ready to book, you'll just hit book. Here, you're going to enter in all the necessary details to go ahead and make that reservation. So starting with the traveler name, you'll select the name from the option field here. So you've only got one name option because there's only one name in the record locator. The frequent guest number, this is where you put your Hyatt number. Next is payments. This is a guarantee with a credit card. So this is where you're going to go ahead and put the credit card details in. So I'll just type that in real quick. And then the name on the card, and then the expiration. Now, just so you know, this is I'm using a prepaid credit card that actually is, I think got $1 left on it. So uh, I'm not too worried about having my credit card number here exposed. So lastly, supplemental information. This is any notes to the hotel. So if you have any special requests, that's what you're going to put here. So maybe a high floor, non-smoking room. And then we're going to go ahead and hit reserve room. There we go. So the system has come back saying the status is HK. So it is holding confirmed. Here's my confirmation number from the hotel. And then it's just summarizing what I booked, 24th to the 26th, one room, my average night, my total night rate, and then the rate code that I booked, giving my credit card, cancellation policy, name, total number of guests. So I indicated one per room. So being that it's in North America, not a big deal. However, remember to make sure to indicate the proper total guests in the room, especially booking uh, throughout the rest of the world, because many different parts of the world will charge for an extra person in the room. It's not always double occupancy. So the rate that you get was quoted at single occupancy. Um, so now we can just go ahead and display this PNR, and this is what we've booked. Okay, now this isn't actually saved yet. I haven't actually saved it yet. So now before I can save it, I need to end and retrieve. But before I can hit end and retrieve, I need to tell the system who they're receiving it from. So what you need to do is go to manual command and just type in the number 6 and your initial. This is telling the system uh, they're receiving the information from you. Uh, and then you hit enter. And then lastly, you can then do end and retrieve. So you either can click this or ER and then hit enter. Real quick before I hit enter, if I made a mistake and I happened to be booking a non-refundable, and this was an accident and I was able to catch it early, I could actually do IR, which is ignore and retrieve. And what would happen is this would ignore the entire reservation and it wouldn't actually book. But we are wanting to book, so we'll do ER. Now the reservation is here. So this is the response that is the native response. However, we can go ahead up here and redisplay the reservation. So as you can see, we now have a reservation right here at the Hyatt Place in Arlington. So this concludes showing you how to make a reservation. Now let's proceed to show you how to amend the reservation or modify the reservation. To begin making a modification, you go up to these three dots here under Hotel and pick Change Dates. Now the difference between the two is change dates is as it sounds. You're changing the dates of the stay. Modify details is if you're trying to modify some parts of the reservation, meaning if you want to change the credit card that you're paying with, you can use that. Or if you'd like to add the Hyatt number, you can use that. So this is referring to keeping the reservation the way it is, but giving them additional information or changing some of the information that was used to book. And this is to make the change. So this is our original date. So we're going to go ahead and move it to the 12th for 2 nights and hit change. What it's going to say is these are outside of the dates you wanted, so we're going to need to double check and see how much it is. You can hit check availability. Now, the originally booked was a 99.45. average nightly rate with an approximate total of 225.25. However, the new dates are now 344.62 with an average nightly rate of 152.15. So this is still a flexible rate, so I don't have to worry. However, you obviously want to confirm if there's a rate change. You're going to want to tell the client before you confirm this, because once you confirm this, there's no guarantee you can get your previous rate of 99.45 back. So I'm just going to say, yes, this is what I want, and I'll hit change. So now it's saying it's been changed. It says here that it is now for the 12th to the 14th, $99. Interesting. That is actually the same rate. But, however, if you're not quite sure, just display A, and then we can look. Aha. So there we go. It's actually 152. So that original field was incorrect. So if you go into the native area, you can see that it's 152. My cancellation policy is still 24 hours. Okay. So let's just say I'm ready to save. Then I would have to hit 6A, 6, and then my initial, and then I would ER. However, let's just say, you know what? I don't want to make that I don't want to make that change. I don't want to confirm it. I can hit IR, ignore and retrieve, and now I'm back to the 24th at the 99.45 rate. Okay. So again, that is how you can make a change and then, ignore the change should you want to ignore the change. Now to cancel the reservation, you would just simply do one of two things. You can do either X, which means cancel, and the segment. You'll see here there's a number by this. It's a number and then hotel. So X1 would cancel the reservation. Or you can drag your mouse here, go here, and go delete segment. And if you delete segment, you're telling it what to delete, and then you can hit delete, which is ultimately the same thing I'm doing here is X1. So if I hit X1, you'll know you got a cancellation confirmation number, and then if I redisplay, which is display A, or if I were to go up to here, you'll see that there's no hotel. Now, one thing I want to highlight is that I haven't actually finished canceling because I haven't saved it. So in order to save it, I would hit 6PA, or I'm sorry, AP for my initial, enter, and then I would hit ER to save. I'm going to ignore it for now, but that is how you do that. So that is the steps to make a reservation, change a reservation, and cancel a reservation.